Hello and welcome back to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker. I'm seeing a whole lot of videos of people professing that they have been laid off or fired. Unfortunately, I've experienced both in the past, and to be quite honest with you, my future, it might be in my future. I'm not sure, you know. The reason I say this is because many companies are downsizing. One of the reasons that has not been discussed that I'd like to share with you guys is this. Some companies have government contracts, and the part of the government that their contracts were for is no longer in existence, or the President of the United States may have had a problem with said company and decided that they're going to cancel those government contracts that company, which could be a company that you work for, and because of that, that company loses their clients. Okay, they lose part of their client base because the government may have been 20, 30, 50, or sometimes in some cases, all of their clients were government clients. All of their clients from the government were from one particular agency that has just been deleted, that will no longer be in existence. So that is why a lot of people, that's another reason why a lot of people are being fired, let go, etc., laid off, etc., etc. Okay, so for those of you who, you said you were laid off or you were fired and they didn't even give you a reason, that might be a reason. So please don't take it personal to say, well, they didn't like you personally or that you did not do a good job. Okay, that's my message to you. So where do you go from here? For those of you who are going to be looking for help, well, you can still go to needhelppayingbills.com and see what grants and what available financing is there for you in your state, your city, your county, and even your territory. Let me not leave out places like Guam or Puerto Rico, which are not states, but they are territories of the U.S. Okay, so I would definitely look there. I would definitely, if you have Temu or Shein app on your phone, delete it. If you have, particularly if you have a weakness for shopping, delete those apps because they will have you spending money like crazy. And right now is not the time to spend money like crazy, even if you still have your job. Now is really not the time to spend money like crazy. When you spend money, it should come back to you some kind of way. So if you're going to spend it on a tax lien certificate. Spend it on let's say, a private lending deal where you're going to get your money back in 3 or 6 months and you're going to get $10,000 on top of that. Spend it more that way. And then, of course, on whatever it is that you need, whatever necessities that you need. If you own a home, reach out to your bank. Ask them for forbearance. That is, if you still have a mortgage on your home. Ask for deferment. Okay. If you have insurance, call your insurance companies. Call your bill collecting companies. Some bill collecting companies have special programs that they can put you on so that you will, at least be able to survive for, a certain period of time. You know, you can also cancel certain services, for example, Wi-Fi. Once a year, the Wi-Fi that I have I was told I could cancel it, um, and then they would put it back on, at a particular point in time when I'm ready for it to be turned back on. But I could only do that once a year. I can't do that, you know, every now and then, so to speak, right? So yes, look into these type of things to save money. Unplug whatever is not being used. Go through all of your subscriptions. Some of us are subscribed to things and we forget that we're subscribed to it. That's why you got to go through your emails and make sure, hey, I want to cancel my GoDaddy. I want to cancel, whatever it is that you're on. You're going to need to do that. You're going to definitely need to do that. There are, as far as landlords are concerned, that's going to be a little bit difficult. There are some states and cities where they do offer assistance to pay your rent, but then there are some states and cities that don't have that. And then even the ones that do run out. So if you don't dilly-dally is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is immediately go and apply for aid. Whatever aid that's out there, go ahead and apply for it, because you don't know what could happen later on. Of course, if you want to work for yourself or if you want to get a job, get out there and get that ball rolling and get that ball moving. If you are a person that's looking to buy a home, and that is for those of you who have a job now, if you're looking to buy a home, I would definitely proceed with caution. Okay? I would definitely proceed with caution. I would not get a single family home at this particular point in time. I would look to get a multifamily home so that this way you can rent out other places in the property and get a return on your investment. Now, if you do get a single family, because that's what you can afford right now, listen, still see if there's any extra space that can be used for where you can rent it out. Does the property have an attic? Because if it has an attic and it's legal, then there are states that will allow, let's say you turn that into an Airbnb, or you can do travel nurse housing, right? You don't need to have any type of certificate to do travel nurse housing in most cities and states that I've seen. But there are a few that you have to have it for an Airbnb. So that's why I'm saying this. Same thing with insurance housing. Typically, you do not need, because I don't have one, a certificate for insurance placement housing. So if you have an attic, if you have an extra room up there, some places will let you have a basement and will call a basement an ADU, but not all places. So that's why you got to be careful with that. That's why you got to check with the lawyer, check with the laws in your area to see if they allow such a thing. Okay, but this is how we have to move. Everybody, we got to slow our roll. Everybody, and it's not easy because there's a lot of temptation out there. All right, and you have to comparison shop. You have to comparison shop also before actually buying, if at all possible. If one store has it cheaper than the other store, then go to the store that's less expensive. And remember, most things you can be done online, but also factor in, after you add up the costs, what is the delivery going to cost you? You see what what I'm saying? So that's what you guys have to do during this particular time period. All right. As far as trying to get back up on your feet. And then, of course, don't neglect to reach out to the people that you know, to the people who you have a relationship with, and find out from them what ways they can help you. Banks can help you too. A lot of us don't take advantage of the bank. What I mean is, we don't sit down with the banker and we say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what's going on in my business. What can you recommend for me? If you are still working, you probably should try to apply for, those credit cards that have no interest for a year. You should probably try and apply for that now. So that this way, in case, unfortunately, this type of thing happens to you, you have something that can help you out financially. Okay, this is basically what I'm saying. These are the things that I would definitely do. Also, if you're still working, you might want to talk to all of your doctors. Get whatever you've been putting off as far as operations and all that other kind of stuff. Do it now. Don't wait until they cut you off at the knees. You want to move, you want to press forward now. If you are on a job and your job is your only source of income, you definitely need to tap into some other skills that you may have and start promoting that some kind of way. So in a way where you're actually getting money returned back to you. And if not money, then some sort of relationship with other people. Networking is something that you shouldn't really wait until now to network, but now is definitely more than ever the best time to network. Network helps you find clients. Network helps you help you to find friends and associates, comrades, all of these people that will advocate you some way or another. And don't say, okay, well, this person doesn't make as much money as me or whatever, so I'm not going to talk to that person. You don't know who that person knows, and they might talk about you. Because I've had this happen to me, where they were talking about me in rooms that I did not go to, that I didn't know anything about, and I got offers. Okay. See, a lot of us, social media is a way for, many people to make money. I'm not making money on social media, unfortunately, not so much. But most of my money actually comes from my business. My job, number 2. Okay? Real talk. And it did take me a while in order for my business to start bringing me in money. I want you to let that sink in. But having a business, okay, is very taxing on your energy and what have you. That's why I say learn to invest. Don't just follow the crowd, and because honestly, what the crowd is doing, they're not even making that much money. And you also, even the ones that are, they don't always let you know what their expenses are, which would actually lower their overall net gain. You understand me? So again, be very objective. Tap into yourself, see what you're good at, learn how to invest. definitely save. This is definitely the time to do that, and definitely reach out to as many that you can, people who are qualified to help you, such as a financial advisor. There are free financial advisors out there. They may not make you as much money as those that you pay for, but it's a start. Then you have your banker. Because, see, your banker doesn't make money if you don't make money. So, of course, they want to see you succeed. They need you to succeed so that they can succeed. So that's why you definitely should speak with them. Anybody that where you are helping them make money, you should talk to them. And then listen, some of you, again, who are on your job, you probably have a daily bulletin of some sort. So on that daily bulletin, you can post and you can ask for recommendations. And you can, again, move forward from there. All right, so that's really my advice for those of you who unfortunately recently got laid off, got fired, or your position is in, your position is a little shaky right now because of the current climate that we are going through in the job market. Okay? And the job market does affect, by the way, housing values. Because the housing values in DC have gone down since all of those people were let go. Because most people who work in DC are government workers. Right? So there's a fire sale right now in DC. If you want to get a property, if you were looking and you want to get a property at a good discount, right now DC would be a great area to go into. Because I know, honestly, it's not going to stay down for too long. Even if it stays down for 4 years, afterwards it's definitely going to go back up. It's DC. It's a port. And that's where the government is based. So, yeah, there's no way it's going to stay down. All right. I don't believe any place, when I'm looking at the economy for years, and if you look historically, no place stays down. They eventually go up. So anyway, guys, that's it. That's all I wanted to share. Hopefully, you can use this information to make smart financial moves. Feel free to pass this amongst your friends. Remember, each one, reach one, teach one. Bye for now. Until next time. Have a good night.